Hello and welcome to Allseas. Meet Josh, our safety mascot.
Hi everybody.
Together, we'll show you everything you need to know to keep yourself and others safe and sound. For example, do you know how to respond when you see an unsafe situation? Or when an alarm is raised? Stay tuned and find out what to do.
First, let's meet our founder and chairman of the board, Edward Hirema.
Allseas is my passion. When we started the company, we were determined to do things that other people could not do just as well as we could. The most important is that we are a family-owned company and independent, that we care about our colleagues and our clients, and where we give our people the opportunity to develop themselves so that the company gets better all the time, and where we work safely and with integrity. We can work well if we cooperate and if we look after each other. Prepare your task well, then you can achieve the best results and the company will be the most successful.
Thank you, Edward.
To stay safe, we require everyone on board to stick to our rules. These rules address things like drugs and alcohol, and violence and harassment. They complement the code of conduct, which helps you navigate tricky situations. For example, what do you do when you see something that doesn't look right?
The most important thing to remember: if you see something, say something.
Talk to the person breaking the rules, your supervisor, or the integrity officer. It's also possible to report the incident anonymously via the link shown on the notice board. If you're not sure what to do, seek advice from one of the confidants. We respond to violations with either a warning or dismissal, because we want everyone to feel respected and stay safe. At Allseas, doing a job right means doing it safely. Work in our industry can be dangerous, so we must make sure we keep everybody safe. AllSafe helps us achieve this. It describes how we put the 3 key Allseas values into practice. Passionate. We care genuinely about the Allseas family, our clients, and our work. Innovative. We create solutions that redefine what is possible. Reliable. We keep our word and honor our commitment individually and as a team. AllSafe gives you practical skills and knowledge to apply these 3 key values and achieve operational control. Following the 9 AllSafe rules will help protect you and others against the most serious risks in the workplace.
Here they are. So, listen carefully, everybody.
Obtain authorization before overriding or disabling safety controls. Obtain authorization before entering a confined space. Follow safe driving rules. Verify isolation and zero energy before work begins. Control flammables and ignition sources. Keep yourself and others out of the line of fire. Plan lifting operations and control the area. Work with a valid permit when required. Protect yourself against a fall when working at height. To make sure we all stick to these rules, we have the Allseas Safety Awareness Program.
Yeah, we call it ASAP.
Ah yes, thanks Josh. ASAP helps us coach each other to work safely. Through ASAP, you can recognize unsafe acts and conditions, but also positive behaviors. Whenever you see something unsafe, you own it and you must stop the work. When someone stops a job, it is vital that you take the time to discuss it then and there.
After all, staying safe is everyone's responsibility.
Risk is everywhere. To prevent it, we must first imagine and understand it.
You better believe it.
We can manage risks by preparing our work well and communicating clearly. We use 3 tools to do exactly that: the work risk assessment, the permit to work, and step back 5x5. Before you start a job, always check the work risk assessment. This helps you go through each step of a job and identify all possible hazards. For routine jobs, you will find a work risk assessment at your workplace. If it is not available, ask your supervisor. For all other jobs, a new work risk assessment needs to be created. Some jobs are particularly high risk and require a permit to work. For example, work in confined spaces or at height, work with high voltages or hot work. When you have to perform a high-risk task, request a permit to work. Right before you start your job, make sure you perform a last-minute risk assessment, which is what we call step back 5x5. By being precise in both the preparation and execution of your work, you ensure that you have operational control. When completing a step back 5x5, you answer these crucial questions. What is the task? What is the risk? What is the plan? Who is in charge? And lastly, perform the task. If at any point your task changes or another person joins the task, check your step back 5x5 again.
Remember, you can only have operational control when fully prepared.
At Allseas, we have safety rules that apply to all sites, both on and offshore. Wearing personal protective equipment is mandatory. Coveralls, a hard hat, safety glasses, gloves and safety boots.
Looking good.
For some jobs, you might need special PPE, such as hearing, breathing or fall protection. Not sure what you need? Ask your supervisor or safety officer. All PPE is available at the warehouse. Hand in your worn-out or damaged items before requesting new PPE. Throughout the workplace, keep an eye out for safety signs and barriers. A black and yellow barrier means pay attention, while red and white means do not cross. Keep hoses and cables tidy to avoid unsafe situations. When lifting items, make sure you maintain a good posture and never lift more than you are capable of. And before you leave your workplace, clean up and return your tools to where they belong. If incidents occur, such as injuries, spills, near misses, damages and equipment malfunctions, always report them immediately. We can learn from these incidents and prevent them in the future. Care for the environment is one of Allseas' core values.
Because we've only got one planet.
Allseas fully complies with all offshore and onshore regulations. Do not dump waste in toilets or sinks, but use the correct bin. Make sure nothing ends up in the water. And you turn off the light and equipment when you don't need it. To prevent spills, we store liquids in suitable locations and use drip trays. In the event of a spill, it is vital that we contain it and prevent it reaching the environment. Report any spills to your supervisor immediately. This way, we can learn from it and continue to improve. Hazardous substances such as adhesives, paints, cleaning agents or hot work fumes can be dangerous to people and the environment.
So, be careful when working with them.
Before you start any job involving a hazardous substance, you need to know what you're dealing with. Check the Control of Substances Hazardous to Health Assessment, also known as the COSH assessment. This document answers 4 important questions. What harm can the substance do to you? What tools do you need to use when working with the substance? What PPE should you wear? And, in case of an emergency, what should you do? The COSH assessment is available at the storage location, so check it thoroughly before you start the work. To stay safe on board our vessels, there are a few things you should know. When you first board the vessel, take the time to read the station bill, to familiarize yourself with the lifeboat locations, the alarms used on board, and your duties in case of emergency. Study the fire and safety plan for the location of life-saving appliances, life jackets, survival suits, and firefighting equipment. When you arrive on board, check where your life jacket and survival suit are stored. If they are stored in your cabin, check that they are in good condition. Also, make sure you know how to put on your life jacket and survival suit correctly. Instructions are displayed at the storage location and in the SOLAS training manual in the recreation room. Familiarize yourself with the quickest way to your assigned muster station. In case of an emergency, one of 4 alarms will sound. The general alarm, the fire alarm, the man overboard alarm, and on pipelay vessels, the abandoned firing line alarm. If you are at your workplace and hear an alarm, stop what you're doing and switch off any equipment. If you're in your cabin and hear an alarm, change into warm clothing and proper shoes. Follow the instructions on the PA and proceed to your muster station. If visibility is limited, fluorescent tape or lights near the floor will help you find your way. When you get to your muster station, report to the person in charge and await further instructions.
It was just a drill this time. You can all go back to work.
What do you do if you witness an emergency? Before responding, first check if the situation is safe.
No matter the situation, never put yourself at risk.
If there's an incident or medical emergency, raise the alarm by contacting the bridge or pressing a manual alarm point. Share the location, nature of the incident, and the number of people involved. Next, make sure the situation is safe and apply first aid. If someone falls overboard, keep the person in sight at all times and tell colleagues to act as lookouts. Throw a lifebuoy and raise the alarm. In case of a fire, raise the alarm, switch off all equipment and evacuate the area. Minimize airflow and, if possible, put out the fire with an extinguisher. There are different extinguishers. So check the labels to see which one is suitable for the fire at hand. All injuries must be reported immediately to your supervisor, safety officer or the bridge, so they can be assessed, treated and kept from getting worse.
Of course, we'd rather prevent emergencies from happening at all. So we have a few housekeeping rules on board.
Everyone is familiar with regular doors, but there are 3 types of doors that require special attention. Weathertight doors are located above main deck and should always remain closed when at sea. Watertight doors are located below main deck. Always open these doors fully before stepping through and close them afterwards. Fire doors are allowed to be kept open with a magnet, so don't fasten them in an open position.
Our health and hygiene rules help prevent illnesses and injuries.
Wash your hands frequently and wear shoe covers where required. Keep your cabin clean and don't wear coveralls in the accommodation. Always be quiet in the accommodation area, as people may be sleeping. Only smoke in the designated smoking areas and use the ashtrays provided. In the mess room, always clean your hands and never wear work or gym clothes. Security on board complies with the International Ship and Port Facility Security Code.
Or simply ISPS.
This code tells us what security measures we need based on 3 levels of security. You can find the current security level on the notice board. Report any security threat or incident to the ship security officer or the bridge and follow their instructions. If there are issues that can't be settled on board, contact the designated person ashore, also known as the DPA, for assistance. If you have a formal complaint about a situation on board, use the onboard complaint procedure.
Phew, that was a lot of information. So be sure to read all of it carefully in the Welcome on Board booklet in your cabin too.
If the booklet's missing, or if you have any questions, ask the safety officer.
That's all. Thanks for watching, folks.
So prepare well and keep each other safe.